Welcome. This is Media Center Ukraine in Odessa. We continue our work, and now we are having online Oleksandr Senkevich, a mayor of Mykolaiv. Can you hear us? Yes. Good afternoon. Can you describe the situation in Mykolaiv now after the liberation of Kherson? Because as far as I understand, the shelling has been reduced and you can recover the city. Yes, I can prove that after the liberation of Kherson, there are no shellings. There's no shelling in Mykolaiv, and till recently they used 300 to shell us. And this means that even if they change their position, they can still use the system. And that's why we ask the residents of Mykolaiv to remember about possible bombardment and to be careful when they hear air alerts. After the liberation of Kherson, a lot of people want to come back to Mykolaiv. I cannot forbid people to do this, but I cannot recommend to do this because of the safety and security issues. And I would like to remind you that there is no centralized potable water supply. In Mykolaiv, we still use water from the Bukh River, and it is salt. The shelling has been reduced with the liberation of Kherson, and this means we can start recovering the housing. Our main focus is to restore windows in houses, and I would like to remind that still a lot of houses in Mykolaiv have no windows because of the shelling. Every day I get information about the number of repaired windows, and I can say that we have connection issues. Yes, you've lost me. Oleksandr, can you hear us? Yes. As for the percentage of the repaired windows, can you repeat this, please? 98% of the windows have been covered. We use special teams with the elevators in our city that are able to cover the windows in the block of flats, and other cities support us. I addressed the Association of the Cities of Ukraine, and they support us. Odessa, Ivano-Frankivsk, Chornomorsk, Zhytomyr, Slavutich, and others. And I would like to thank all the cities and all the teams that were sent to Mykolaiv that support us even when it was bombardment. Oleksandr, you're back with us. Now we have only teams from Mykolaiv repairing windows. 864 blocks of flats were damaged in Mykolaiv. 30 of them are fully destroyed, and 1,069 private houses, 71 of them have been destroyed completely. So we need to build them from the scratch. The main damages are broken windows, doors, roofs, and we use the special carbon plates to close the windows. Partially we received them from Denmark, and the other part is bought using the budget of our city. And at least it helps us to insulate the city, the houses. And of course, this can substitute glass in windows, but we can't use glass because we are not sure that the shellings are not repeated in the future. And from around 300 damaged roofs, we have already repaired more than 100, and we used different types of materials, and depending on the severeness of the damaged. When it comes to the municipal objects, we have more than 1.4 billion of hryvnias as for the losses, but this is not the final number, and this is not even an approximate number. Is this that we were able to calculate as losses? And some of the schools are, and hospitals have been completely destroyed in Mykolaiv. And we can't calculate the damages because we need to develop the new balance sheet because using the balance amount, we cannot define the amount of the damages. First thing we want to ask you about is the water supply, drinking water supply. As far as I understand, those parts of pipelines that have been damaged and controlled by Russian occupiers have been liberated, and there are Ukrainian troops there, and you can partially restore the supply of drinking water to Mykolaiv. Is it so? And first of all, I would like to explain to people what is meant by a water supply from Dnipro. And this is like two pipe of the diameter of 0.4 meters, which are quite long, like around 100 of kilometers. And this pipeline is under the surface, so we use special canals for this pipeline. The Russian troops the Russian troops blew up in two places the points where the pipeline goes to the surface. We don't know what they used for this, but we know that they were damaged. And there are also some parts damaged underground. They used Rotile for this, for the Ukrainian forces not to attack Russian forces when crossing the area of this pipeline. So the pipeline was damaged on purpose, isn't it? Yes, and actually they thought that Ukrainians can use the pipeline to get underground from Mykolaiv to Kherson. And then when they blew this up, they understood that it was the water supply pipe, and there was a lot of water there, and they just decided to damage this. And I would like to explain why we have the connection issues right now. There is air alert in Mykolaiv now, and soon Mr. Senkevich is in a bomb shelter with the connection issues. The pipe is quite heavy, around 800 kilos for the 1 square meter. And after the liberation of Kherson, our team were promptly there, and they saw that everyone is mined there. We continue experiencing connection issues, but we're waiting. So the teams, repair teams, brigades are there to repair the pipe there. But they saw that everything had been mined. And not only the pipeline, but all the railways were damaged there. And one of the vehicle of Ukrzaliznytsia, the Ukrainian railway company, was blown up there, but luckily everyone survived. And actually, we also experienced such blow up. Out of 4 damaged spots, we have finalized repairs at 3 spots, and we expect for the repairs to be finalized tomorrow or today, depending on the weather conditions. And also, we are supported with the Ukrainian heating company and the Ukrainian gas company, Ukrgas, that also supported us with the repair of the pipeline. When we finalize the repairs of the pipe, we have one more issue, namely the power supply in the Kherson Oblast. As soon as it is restored, we will be able to submit water to the pipeline to clean everything, and after that, the water supply will be restored in Mykolaiv. Thank you for such a comprehensive answer, but it is very difficult to say when the power supply is restored in Kherson. It depends on the security issues rather than on the technical issues. I think that both, actually. And as the mayor of Mykolaiv, I don't have the precise information about Kherson, but as all other Ukrainians, I'm waiting for the power supply to be restored. You say that you do not recommend people to come back to Mykolaiv because of the security issues. But as far as I understand, that some people from the liberated Kherson come to Mykolaiv. Do you have evacuated voyages for these people? Do these people stay in Mykolaiv, or do they travel further on? When the war started, the residents of Kherson traveled to Mykolaiv, but after staying here for one night under bombardment, they usually moved on. And now we don't see a lot of people who want to stay in Mykolaiv, but anyway, we have accommodation centers for temporary accommodation of these people, and as a rule, they move on to the western regions of Ukraine or to abroad, or they just stay in Kherson. So we do not have some huge wave of IDPs from Kherson. But anyway, we continue evacuating people from Kherson. And on my social media pages, there are links published where people from Mykolaiv and Kherson can be registered to be transported by special buses to the border with Moldova and to Poland. And one American foundation have been organizing the evacuation of people to Poland. And it's Odessa, Palanka. So we continue evacuating people to the EU countries. We don't know what to expect from the winter coming. We organize the heating points in social venues, and we have been preparing for the worst. We have been buying generators, pot belly stoves, etc. So we do everything possible to be ready to warm the people if there is the total blackout. Yeah, as for the water, there has been no water in Mykolaiv since 12th of April, and we organized around 150 points to provide the drinking water at different wells, and they also have the purification plants there. And we're also going to provide these points of supply with the generators for them to ensure the operation of this water supply. Wells and drills in case there is a total blackout. So it means that if you even have a total blackout, all these wells will be operative to provide residents of Mykolaiv with the drinking water. Yes, we have these points all over the place. People can just walk to get there from different areas of Mykolaiv. And you see there is no centralized water supply in Mykolaiv. And that's why we need to buy diesel generators for every point of water supply. And this will ensure water supply in Mykolaiv, even if there is a total blackout. How many autonomous wells do you have now in your city? 150. Yes, and this is a significant number. In Mykolaiv, in the summer, you told me that one-third of population was still there in Mykolaiv. Out of 500,000 people, we still have 230,000 people. So we see the increasing number of people, and we can see that we have more vehicles now in our city. But again, there is no huge wave of people coming back to Mykolaiv because the large companies are not operative in Mykolaiv. The micro and small-sized businesses work there, but it means that people don't have enough jobs just to be there under the bombardment. And one more question. This is the question to the heating, in terms of the readiness to the heating season. And if shelling is resumed, then is the city ready for the heating season. We have turned on the system. 3,300 block of flats with more than 3 stories already have the heating, and I know that with the exclusion of 40 buildings, because there is an emergency there, and as soon as the consequences of this emergency are mitigated, the heating will be resumed in all the cities. So the heating season is not according to the plan that we had, but we don't experience major issues here. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for being with us, even despite the air alert. And I hope that everything will be good with your city. Thank you very much for taking interest in our city, and we will be victorious for sure. Glory to Ukraine, glory to HERS. That was Mr. Senkevich, the mayor of Mykolaiv. This is our last briefing for today. See you soon. Thank you for staying with us and being with us today.